Can I please have a... I thought that if I went in there and told him that I did every single thing that happened up there, that to Daryl...
Living with taxpayers' money, paying for her to live in jail to get an education.
It is therefore ordered that...
Through absolute hell. And I can't imagine anybody going through that. And I can't imagine...
Take full responsibility for this anymore, and I won't, because if I'm gonna die in here, I'm gonna die for my truth.
Behind the headlines lies the chilling tale of Krista Gale Pike, the youngest girl on the finality row, her haunting past, and the tears shed before her fateful ending. Today, we unravel this haunting mystery. Krista Pike's inauspicious beginnings. Krista Gale Pike, born on March 10, 1976, stands as a chilling figure in American criminal history as she became the youngest woman to be sentenced to demise in the United States during the post-Furman period. Her life journey paints a harrowing portrait of troubled youth, lost innocence, and a descent into darkness. From an early age, Pike faced a tumultuous upbringing. Born in West Virginia, she was abandoned by her mother, a self-professed party girl, more interested in her vices than in caring for her daughter. Pike's father wanted no part in raising her, leaving her grandmother to step in and become her primary caretaker. However, tragedy struck when Pike was only 12 years old. Her grandmother passed away, leaving her world shattered. With no stable support system, Pike was forced to return to her neglectful mother. It was during this time that Pike's life took a troubling turn as her mother introduced her to marijuana, exposing her to substances at a young age. As Pike grew older, her violent tendencies began to surface. She dropped out of high school and found herself in trouble with the law, facing a shoplifting charge that led to a brief stint in juvenile detention. Seeking a fresh start and some guidance, she enrolled in the Job Corps program, which aimed to provide vocational training and career skills to low-income youth. Pike attended the Job Corps Center in Knoxville, Tennessee, hoping to build a better future for herself. However, instead of focusing on her studies and personal growth, Pike became consumed by her infatuation with Tedderil Shipp, a young man a year her junior. Their relationship took a sinister turn as they delve into the realms of the occult and devil worship. Together, they immersed themselves in a world of darkness, exploring macabre rituals and twisted ideologies. It was within this toxic dynamic that Pike's path crossed with that of her classmate, Colleen Slemmer. At the age of 18, Pike committed an unspeakable act of brutality that would forever stain her name. Motivated by jealousy and fueled by her sinister obsessions, she orchestrated the torture slaying of Slemmer. The details of the crime are haunting and gruesome, a chilling testament to the depths of Pike's darkness. The slaying of Colleen Slemmer. The chilling case of the Knoxville Job Corps slaying unveils a tale of darkness, obsession, and a horrifying slaying. Krista Pike and Tedderil Shipp, both with troubled backgrounds, found themselves entangled in a twisted love affair that led to a sinister plot. Raised by a single mother and involved with gangs, Shipp's path took a detour when he joined the Knoxville Job Corps at his mother's urging. Enrolled in the culinary arts program, he crossed paths with Pike, and their relationship developed rapidly. Both Pike and Shipp harbored a fascination with Satanism and the occult, which attracted like-minded individuals, including Shadola Peterson at the Job Corps. Enter Colleen Slemmer, a vibrant young woman from Jacksonville, Florida, who arrived at the Knoxville Job Corps to pursue computer technology studies. In a matter of months, tensions arose between Slemmer and Pike. Pike accused Slemmer of pursuing Shipp and attempting to steal him away, though Slemmer and her friends vehemently denied any romantic interest. Distorted by her obsession, Pike managed to convince Shipp and Peterson that Slimmer needed to be sacrificed in the name of Satan. Krista Pike's descent into darkness took a sinister turn when jealousy consumed her. Enraged by her unfounded belief that her classmate, 19-year-old university student Colleen Slimmer, was attempting to steal her boyfriend, Pike hatched a plan with her friend Shadola Peterson, 18 years old, to lure Slimmer to an abandoned steam plant near the University of Tennessee campus. On January 12, 1995, Pike, along with Shipp, Peterson, and Slimmer, signed out of their dormitory, pretending to make peace by offering Slimmer some marijuana. They proceeded to the woods, arriving at the isolated location where their true intentions unfolded. Slimmer fell victim to a vicious attack orchestrated by Pike and Shipp, with Peterson serving as a lookout. Over the next harrowing 30 minutes, Slimmer endured taunting, beatings, and slashing. Shockingly, a pentagram was carved into her chest, symbolizing the depth of depravity at play. Ultimately, Pike dealt a fatal blow, smashing Slimmer's skull with a large chunk of asphalt. As a macabre memento, Pike kept a piece of Slimmer's skull. The repercussions of this gruesome crime were far-reaching, shattering the lives of those involved and leaving a community in shock. The missing fragment of Slimmer's skull remains a haunting reminder of the darkness that consumed Pike. Unfathomably, Pike brazenly showcased the gruesome souvenir at school, boasting of her heinous act. Within a mere 36 hours, the authorities arrested Pike, Shipp, and Peterson. The evidence against them was damning, as the logbook revealed that the four had departed together, but only 3 returned. Detectives discovered the fragment of skull in Pike's jacket pocket, leaving little doubt about her involvement. The investigation delved further into the dark abyss when a copy of the Satanic Bible was found in Shipp's room. In the aftermath of her arrest, Pike confessed to the police, acknowledging her role in the torture and slaying of Slimmer. However, she attempted to downplay the severity of their intentions, claiming they had merely intended to scare Slimmer, but the situation spiraled out of control. This feeble attempt to mitigate her actions did little to overshadow the brutality and depravity of the crime. The chilling details of this crime sent shock waves through the community, exposing the depths of human cruelty and the consequences of unchecked malevolence. Krista Pike's involvement in this heinous act serves as a disturbing reminder of the potential for darkness that exists within the human psyche. The tragic loss of Colleen Slimmer's life highlights the devastating impact of jealousy and the alarming lengths to which some individuals will go to satisfy their warped desires. Trial and verdict. During Krista Pike's trial, the prosecution built a strong case against her, supporting by compelling evidence and Pike's own confession. Pike's friends and co-conspirators remained silent about the crime, but her bragging about it to fellow Job Corps attendees became her downfall. Pike's confession revealed disturbing details about the slaying of Colleen Slimmer. She claimed that her motive was rooted in jealousy, believing that Slimmer was trying to steal her boyfriend, Tadderil Shipp. Pike convinced Shipp and Shadola Peterson that Slimmer needed to be sacrificed in the name of Satan. On January 11, 1995, Pike, Shipp, and Peterson lured Slimmer to the woods under the pretense of sharing marijuana. Once there, Pike and Shipp viciously attacked her while Peterson served as a lookout. Slimmer endured approximately 30 minutes of torment, during which she was taunted, beaten, and slashed. Pike even carved a pentagram into her chest. The brutality escalated as Slimmer begged for her life, with Pike responding by kicking her in the face and slashing her throat. Pike ultimately bludgeoned Slemmer to demise with a large piece of asphalt, keeping a fragment of her skull as a macabre souvenir. Although Pike's friends did not report the crime, her indiscretion in showing off the stolen skull fragment to others eventually led the police to her. They interviewed Spike on January 15, 1995, and she voluntarily waived her Miranda rights and confessed to the crime. While initially claiming that she wanted Slemmer to leave her alone, the level of violence and sadism displayed during the slaying suggested a different motive. Pike's defense team attempted to argue that her actions were a result of diminished mental capacity. They called upon experts to testify on her behalf. Dr. Eric Engem acknowledged Pike's severe borderline personality disorder, cannabis dependence, and depression, but stated that she did not exhibit any signs of brain damage or insanity. Another expert, Dr. William Burnett, who specialized in Satanism, testified that Pike's crime contained some satanic elements but was more indicative of adolescent experimentation and collective aggression rather than a true satanic sacrifice. In an effort to humanize Pike and establish mitigating factors, her defense presented family members who testified about her challenging upbringing. However, the testimony of Dr. Deanna McCoy, intended to discuss Pike's diminished capacity, was ultimately excluded from the trial. The prosecution's case relied heavily on Pike's confession and the evidence collected. Pike was charged with first-degree slaying and conspiracy to commit slaying. After only a few hours of deliberation, on March 22, 1996, the jury found Pike guilty on both counts. The severity of the crimes led to a harsh sentence for Pike. On March 30, she was sentenced to demise by electrocution for the slaying charge, in addition to 25 years in prison for the conspiracy charge. Tedderell Shipp received a life sentence with the possibility of parole, plus an additional 25 years. Shadola Peterson, who had turned informant, pleaded guilty to being an accessory after the fact and received probation. The trial of Krista Pike shed light on the gruesome details of the crime and the complex psychological factors at play. Despite the defense's attempts to present mitigating factors, the overwhelming evidence and testimony presented in court led to Pike's conviction and the imposition of severe punishments for her and her accomplices. The trial ensured that they would face the consequences of their brutal and heinous actions. Krista Pike's legal odyssey. Following the guilty verdict, Krista Pike's legal journey took a series of unexpected twists and turns, keeping the public and legal experts on the edge of their seats. Pike's actions seemed to defy the conventional norms of the appeals process, making her case all the more intriguing. In a surprising move, Pike initially launched an appeal of her conviction in the Tennessee state courts. However, she later canceled the appeal, only to reverse her decision and relaunch it again. The roller coaster of legal maneuvers left her lawyers bewildered as they advised against dropping the appeal. Pike, however, made an extraordinary request. She sought to be executed via electrocution, defying the conventional desire for an appeal process. To everyone's astonishment, criminal court judge Mary Beth Lebowitz granted Pike's request and set an ending date for August 19, 2002. The anticipation and tension surrounding Pike's case reached its peak. But just when it seemed like Pike had sealed her fate, she changed her mind once again. On July 8, 2002, defense lawyers filed a motion to continue the appeal process, attempting to backtrack on Pike's request for ending. However, the motion was denied, leaving Pike's fate hanging in the balance. A glimmer of hope emerged when on August 2, 2002, a three-judge state appeals court panel ruled in favor of continuing the proceedings, sparing Pike from imminent ending. The unexpected turn of events breathed new life into her case, but it also added another layer of uncertainty and complexity. The legal battle continued, with Pike's lawyers exploring every possible avenue to challenge her sentence. In December 2008, Pike's request for a new trial was ultimately denied, and she was sent back to Ending Row. It seemed that Pike had exhausted all her appeals within the framework of Tennessee's criminal justice system, leaving her faith hanging by a thread. However, Pike's tenacious legal team wasn't ready to give up. In May 2014, they took her case to the federal court system, seeking a commutation of her sentence from demise to life in prison. The grounds for the appeal were compelling: ineffective assistance of counsel, Pike's mental illness, and the assertion that capital punishment, as administered in Tennessee, was unconstitutional. The stakes were high, as Pike's fate was once again in the hands of the courts. U.S. District Judge Harry S. Mattis Jr. issued a monumental 61-page ruling on March 11, 2016, rejecting all the grounds presented by Pike's lawyers and denying the requested commutation. The decision dealt a significant blow to Pike's hopes for a different outcome. However, her legal team persisted, and the case made its way to the United States Court of Appeals for the Sixth Circuit. After a long and suspenseful wait, the three-judge panel of the Sixth Circuit unanimously upheld the lower court ruling on August 22, 2019. Pike's appeal was denied once again, leaving her with limited options and the looming specter of her demise sentence. The twists and turns of Krista Pike's legal battle captivated the public, as each decision added layers of complexity and uncertainty. The unexpected nature of Pike's actions and the resilience of her legal team kept the world watching, waiting to see what would unfold next in this extraordinary case. Lurking darkness, prison attack. Within the cold and oppressive confines of the prison, tension simmered beneath the surface, waiting for the perfect moment to erupt into a flurry of violence. It was on that fateful August 24, 2001, that Krista Pike, a name synonymous with darkness, and alleged accomplice Natasha Cornett embarked on a harrowing journey that would forever stain their records. Driven by an insidious motive, Pike and Cornett orchestrated a calculated attack on fellow inmate Patricia Jones. Armed with nothing but a shoestring, Pike lunged at her unsuspecting victim, tightening the makeshift garrote around Jones's throat with a chilling determination. The confines of the prison walls bore witness to a desperate struggle for survival as Jones fought for each precious breath. It was a battle on the brink of life and demise.
Acceptable, and I realize that, but I don't deserve to die for the action. I thought that if I went in there and told him that I did every single thing that happened up there, that Tadero did not have somebody chain me up when I walk out a door or tell me when I can use the bathroom or take full responsibility for this anymore, and I won't, because if I'm gonna die in here, I'm gonna die for my truth.
As the darkness threatened to consume her, Jones clung to hope, praying for salvation from the hands of her assailants. Miraculously, she managed to escape the clutches of Pike's lifeless grip, narrowly avoiding the grip of demise. But the scars left behind, both physical and emotional, would forever serve as a haunting reminder of the brutality she endured. The aftermath of the heinous act led to a grueling legal battle. On August 12, 2004, Pike was dealt a damning blow as she was convicted of attempted first-degree slaying. The courtroom was filled with a heavy silence as the weight of her crimes echoed through the proceedings. The jurors, tasked with unraveling the twisted web of deceit and violence, unanimously rendered their verdict condemning Pike for her chilling attempt on Jones's life. Yet, amidst the shadowy landscape of this chilling event, the role of Natasha Cornett remained obscured. While suspicions loomed over Cornett's alleged assistance in the attack, the Tennessee Department of Corrections faced an agonizing dilemma. Their investigators scoured the evidence, searching for the elusive threads that could definitely tie Cornett to the heinous crime. Alas, their efforts proved futile, leaving lingering doubts and unanswered questions surrounding Cornett's involvement. The attempted slaying conviction reverberated through the prison walls, sending shockwaves of fear and uncertainty among the inmates. It served as a stark reminder of the depths humanity can sink to when consumed by darkness and driven by sinister intentions. For Pike, the conviction marked another haunting chapter in her troubled journey, while for Jones, it represented both a triumph of survival and a painful reminder of the demons that lurk in the depths of human souls. The foiled prison break. In the depths of March 2012, a chilling revelation shook the confines of Krista Pike's imprisonment. An intricate and audacious plan for a prison break had been set into motion. As the layers of this gripping saga unraveled, a complex web of relationships, desperation, and the relentless pursuit of freedom emerged, painting a vivid picture of the human spirit pushed to its limits. The genesis of this daring plot can be traced back to a most unlikely connection. Donald Cohut, a personal trainer hailing from the distant shores of Flemington, New Jersey, found himself entangled in an inexplicable bond with Pike. What began as a modest exchange of letters between Pike and Cohut in the early months of 2011 soon evolved into a series of face-to-face meetings. Determined to stand by Pike's side, Cohut embarked on a grueling pilgrimage, traveling over 1,800 miles round trip to visit Pike in the confines of her Nashville, Tennessee prison. These visits became a lifeline, a glimmer of hope in the midst of their bleak surroundings. As their relationship deepened, trust blossomed, and Cohut unveiled a plan that would test the limits of their resolve. Cohut, fueled by an unwavering determination, presented Pike with a daring scheme for escape. The specifics of this intricate plan remained shrouded in secrecy, veiled by the Tennessee Department of Corrections due to security concerns. However, an unsealed indictment hinted at the audacious plan involving the tracing and replication of a prison key, an essential piece in their quest for freedom. Yet, destiny had other designs in store. In the early months of 2012, whispers of an impending escape plot reached the ears of vigilant prison personnel. The alarm was sounded, prompting a swift and coordinated response from the Tennessee Department of Corrections, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, and the New Jersey State Police. Together, they launched a joint investigation aimed at dismantling the conspiracy before it could materialize into a tangible threat. The clock was ticking. The authorities worked tirelessly to dismantle the intricate web that had been spun within the prison's walls. Their efforts proved fruitful as the plan was swiftly intercepted and brought to a grinding halt. Thankfully, the jailbreak, which had loomed ominously on the horizon, was prevented from becoming a chilling reality. The danger that lurked in the shadows of freedom was extinguished, and the public breathed a collective sigh of relief. March 2012 marked a turning point in the lives of the key players involved in this gripping tale. Donald Cohut found himself confronted with the harsh realities of justice, facing charges of bribery and conspiracy to commit escape. His dreams of liberation were shattered as the gavel of the court pronounced a sentence that would confine him to the walls of the Tennessee State Northeast Correctional Complex for a period of 7 years. Meanwhile, the role of Justin Heflin, the corrections officer entangled in the conspirational dance, faced its own reckoning. Heflin, lured by promises of material gain and entranced by the allure of freedom, had chosen a treacherous path. In the aftermath of the foiled prison break, Heflin was arrested and charged with bribery, official misconduct, and conspiracy to commit escape. While he managed to avoid a prison sentence through his cooperation with the authorities, the loss of his position within the Tennessee Department of Corrections served as a haunting reminder of the consequences of his ill-fated choices. The story of the attempted prison break captivated the public's imagination, sparkling endless debates and fueling speculations about the untold possibilities that could have unfolded and had their audacious plan succeeded. The tale stood as a testament to the indomitable human spirit, a testament to the lengths individuals will go to seize their chance at freedom regardless of the consequences. In the annals of criminal history, the foiled prison break led by Krista Pike, Donald Kohat, and aided by the ill-fated alliance with Justin Heflin etched a lasting impression. The battle for Krista Pike's life. In the hallowed halls of justice, where the scales of punishment are meticulously balanced, Krista Gale Pike's fate hangs in the balance. As her legal team makes one final attempt to avert the unthinkable, they face an uphill battle against the prevailing tides of precedent and the weight of previous court rulings. In 2011, the stage was set for a pivotal showdown as Pike's defense lawyers made a compelling argument, contending that young offenders plagued by immaturity, mental illness, and brain damage should be exempt from the ending penalty. They implored the Tennessee Court of Criminal Appeals to recognize the unique vulnerabilities of 18-year-olds and grant them clemency. However, their plea fell on deaf ears as the court staunchly maintained that juries already had the discretion to consider a slayer's youth and mental health when determining the imposition of the ultimate punishment. Undeterred, Pike's lawyers continued their valiant fight, now shifting their focus to the alleged deficiencies in her trial. They asserted that crucial factors of youth and mental health were not adequately presented to the jury, thereby hindering their ability to make an informed decision. The Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals, however, firmly rejected this argument in 2019, emphasizing that the jury had been privy to a comprehensive narrative, one that painted a vivid picture of Pike's tumultuous childhood and upbringing, attempting to explain the transformation of a troubled soul into a perpetrator of heinous violence. Despite the resounding rejection of Pike's appeal, hope flickered within the hearts of her legal team. They turned their gaze towards the Tennessee Supreme Court, desperately seeking a recommendation for clemency from Governor Bill Lee. The plea was clear: commute Pike's sentence to life, with or without a possibility of parole.
The only woman on Tennessee's death row is asking for commutation of her sentence. We here at WA.
Living with taxpayers' money, paying for her to live in jail to get an education.
It is therefore ordered that
Daryl Shipp and Shadala Peterson were charged in the 1995 death.
To bolster their case, they requested additional time for a psychologist to evaluate Pike's current mental state, delving into the depths of her being, as well as the Inter-American Commission on Human Rights to conclude their investigation into potential violations of her human rights. All eyes now turn to Governor Lee, a figure whose decision holds the power to alter the course of Pike's life. A delicate balance rests in his hands as he weighs the merits of clemency against the gravity of Pike's crimes. It is worth noting that since his inauguration in 2019, Governor Lee has not granted clemency to any demise row inmate, thus casting a shadow of uncertainty over Pike's fate. The Endanger's gavel has fallen 4 times since then, claiming the lives of men who face their own demons on Ending Row, including the captivating tale of Nicholas Sutton, a Morristown man who found redemption amidst the shadows. Yet, Pike's journey within the confines of prison has been marred by further legal entanglements. In 2004, she was convicted of attempted slaying, a chilling reminder of the darkness that lurks within her soul. This additional offense only adds to the complexity of her case, further fueling the debate surrounding her potential ending. Pike's legal team, ever vigilant in their pursuit of justice, passionately argues that her ending would mark a historic moment, the first time Tennessee has executed a woman in over 2 centuries. Moreover, they emphasize that she would also be the first person in what is deemed the modern era to be put to demise for a crime committed during her teenage years. These striking facts cast a somber light on the potential irreversible outcome that looms menacingly before us. In this climactic battle for life and redemption, the final chapter of Pike's tumultuous journey has yet to be written. The echoes of her plea resonate through the chambers of justice, echoing the enduring question, will mercy prevail, granting her a chance at redemption? Or will the wheels of justice turn inexorably, etching her name in the annals of Tennessee's dark history? The world watches with bated breath, awaiting the defining moment that will shape the destiny of Krista Gale Pike. Emotional turmoil. The emotional turmoil surrounding Krista Gale Pike's tears before her scheduled ending is a powerful and complex aspect of the broader narrative surrounding her case. Facing imminent demise can elicit a range of emotions, not just for the condemned individual, but also for their loved ones, the public, and even those involved in carrying out the ending. For Krista Gale Pike herself, the reality of impending ending must be an overwhelming and harrowing experience. Knowing that one's life is about to come to an end, especially through such a violent and irreversible means, can lead to profound emotional distress. Pike may be grappling with feelings of fear, regret, sadness, and desperation as she faces the finality of her situation. Tears could be a manifestation of her intense emotional struggle, a response to the gravity of the situation and the fear of the unknown beyond demise. At the same time, Pike's tears may also be a reflection of her remorse and the weight of the crime she committed. Though she has been convicted and sentenced for her actions, the imminent ending may serve as a stark reminder of the life she took and the pain she caused to the victim's family and her own loved ones.
Krista, and Krista and Tadero knocked her down and drug her
through absolute hell. And I can't imagine anybody going through that. And I can't imagine
the weight of guilt and the acknowledgement of the irreversible nature of her crime would contribute to her emotional turmoil. For those witnessing Pike's tears, including her attorneys, prison staff, and other individuals involved in the ending process, the emotional impact can be equally significant. While some may view her tears as a sign of remorse and vulnerability, others might see them as manipulative or insincere attempts to garner sympathy. These conflicting perceptions further add to the complexity of emotions surrounding the situation. Moreover, the public's response to Pike's tears can be multifaceted. Some may empathize with her and question the justice of capital punishment, while others might view her emotions as insufficient justification for her actions and sentence. The emotional turmoil of being condemned person cry before the ending can reignite debates about the humanity of the ending penalty and whether it serves as a just response to heinous crimes. Pike's case could also evoke sympathy and empathy from some people, particularly if they believe that she was a victim of her circumstances, such as troubled upbringing or mental health issues. On the other hand, there may be others who feel little compassion, believing that her crimes were too horrific to warrant any leniency. In conclusion, the emotional turmoil surrounding Krista Gale Pike's tears before her ending is a complex and emotionally charged aspect of her case. It provides a glimpse into the profound psychological impact of facing demise and the diverse range of responses and emotions elicited in both the condemned and the public. It also serves as a reminder of the deeply contentious nature of capital punishment, raising questions about its moral implications and the potential for justice and compassion in the face of such a grave outcome. A desperate plea for mercy is an emotional appeal made by Krista Gale Pike's lawyers as they call for clemency in her case. They argue for an alternative to capital punishment, urging authorities to spare Pike's life. They emphasize factors such as Pike's troubled background, personal growth and rehabilitation, mental health concerns, flaws in the trial proceedings, and broader issues related to the expiry penalty. Pike's lawyers present evidence of a difficult upbringing, hoping to elicit sympathy and understanding. They highlight her educational pursuits, rehabilitation efforts, and positive contributions to the prison community, demonstrating her potential for change. They argue that continued incarceration is a just and humane alternative to putting down. The plea also focuses on Pike's mental health, citing psychiatric evaluations and a history of mental illness to raise questions about her capacity for remorse and reduced culpability. In addition, Pike's lawyers point out flaws in the trial, such as inadequate legal representation or procedural errors. They highlight broader concerns surrounding the ending penalty, including evolving societal attitudes, wrongful convictions, and moral considerations. The outcome of the plea rests in the hands of decision makers who must weigh these arguments against the severity of Pike's crimes and the demands of justice. It is a final attempt to persuade authorities to show mercy and grant Pike clemency, sparing her from the ultimate punishment of slaying. Historical significance. The historical significance of Krista Gale Pike's ending lies in its potential impact on the broader discourse surrounding the ending penalty. Pike's case raises important questions and sparks debates regarding the fairness, effectiveness, and ethical implications of capital punishment, particularly when applied to individuals who committed crimes as juveniles. As the youngest girl on ending row, Pike's ending would mark a significant event in the history of capital punishment. It would serve as a reminder of the rare instances where women have faced the ultimate punishment and highlight the long-standing gender disparities in ending penalty cases. Furthermore, Pike's case stands out due to her age at the time of the crime, bringing attention to the contentious issue of sentencing juveniles to demise. The ending of Pike, who was a teenager when she committed the crime, forces society to confront the complex question of whether it is justifiable to hold individuals accountable for their actions committed during their formative years. This aspect of Pike's case amplifies the ongoing discussion surrounding the culpability and potential for rehabilitation of juvenile offenders. Moreover, the debate over Pike's ending extends to the broader conversation about the efficacy and fairness of the ending penalty itself. It invites reflection on the purposes of punishment, the potential for deterrence, and the role of retribution in the criminal justice system. The case brings to light concerns about the potential arbitrariness and racial disparities in capital punishment, and raises questions about the evolving standards of decency within society. Pike's ending, if carried out, could further fuel discussions about the humanity of the ending penalty and the need for alternative forms of punishment that prioritize rehabilitation and the potential for positive change. It may prompt calls for policy reforms, including reconsideration how the justice system handles cases involving juvenile offenders and individuals with a history of mental health issues. Ultimately, the historical significance of Pike's ending lies in its potential to shape public opinion, challenge existing legal frameworks, and influence the ongoing discourse on the ending penalty. It serves as a catalyst for examining the complexities and moral dilemmas associated with capital punishment, leaving a lasting impact on the trajectory of the broader debate. That's all for this video, folks. See you next time.